show you really quickly today how to make a little tongue to put into a baby's mouth. I don't generally sculpt the inside of mouths of babies unless they've got a bit of an open mouth. But what I do, I cut the mouth open, but what I often do these days is pop a little tongue at the bottom of the mouth. I can show you on this baby actually. This is a baby I've made, and she's been, no I can't actually, she's still got a tongue yet. So I'll show you at the end how it fits in. But basically what I'm going to do is just literally get a piece of clay like you make your babies in. If you're not sculpting yourself, just get a piece, some polymer clay, or any kind of clay really. It doesn't have to be polymer, and you don't even have to cure these little tongue moulds, because you can pour. They're only small. Oh, get the words out, Carolyn. Anyway, you don't have to bake them if you don't want to, or you can bake them, which will obviously make them last a bit longer. What I tend to do is just have them here, and then every now and then I'll lose one, or I'll need a bit of clay, so I'll grab it and use it for something else, and then I'll think, oh dear, I've lost my tongue mould. So what I'm doing is just getting a flat piece of clay. And now baby's tongue on the whole, I mean I've got quite big hands and fingers and rubbishy nails and everything, but basically sort of like a finger or a thumb is about the width of the tongue that I want. So I get my little little slab of clay, what would you call it? Make sure it's kind of even, level, and I just push my finger into it, more one side than the other, like this. So it goes down, not a massive amount, maybe a few millimetres at one end, and then tapers up at this end, so it's like that, and kind of move it so that it kind of goes over a little bit over the edge, just a teeny bit, but make sure that the edge stays fairly level because we're going to be pouring into this. So that's all I do. Sometimes some bigger than others. That's a tongue, that's a thumb one, and that's a thumb one. So what I need now is some silicone. Now you can use any silicone for this. I'm using today Platsil gel. It cures really quickly, and it's a nice softness for putting in the mouth. It doesn't matter about it being soft, because it's inside the mouth. Basically, I don't really encourage people to open the mouth and pull the lips open and have a good look, because at the end of the day you don't really want people to do that. But a little impression of a tongue at the front of the mouth at the bottom is quite nice sometimes. When I cut the mouth open, again, I don't do it in a very pretty way particularly. I don't do gums. Because I don't want people saying, oh look inside the mouth here, and yanking the mouth open to look inside it. Also, it can get in the way of the dummy. People like to use dummies sometimes. I do modified dummies, which I will do a video to show you how to make if I haven't already. So basically this little tongue at the bottom of the mouth is quite nice. And this is not beautifully painted tongue, it's just done as it is. So I'm going to just put some silicone into here, A and B. This is Platsil gel, about 8 grams of that, 8 grams of this. If you're doing one, you'll need a lot less. Right, it's about equal. So I'm going to give this a stir with my twizzle stick. Right, for colour, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of flesh in, which is an opaque colour, which will make the tongue an opaque colour, which is what I want. So I'm going to put a little bit of flesh. This is just my flesh that I use as an intrinsic colour for my pouring. You can use any flesh colour. It's basically just to take it into, make it opaque, which it has done. And I'm going to pop a bit of red in. I'm going to use the Sam Crimson Oxide, a few blobs of that, and you can make it whatever colour you like. I find that tongues are a little bit more red than the normal flesh, so I think that's quite a nice little colour. But on the whole, the colour's not that important, I don't feel. It's just an impression of a tongue. And then I'm just going to pour it into my little tongue moulds. Right. So you can obviously make a few of these at a time. What I'm going to do now is just kind of level it off. So I'm going to take it from this point and just make it, just take it down so that it goes to virtually nothing at the back. I want it to sort of kind of taper out at the back, if you know what I mean. I'm making a bit of a mess of this, but you'll understand what I mean when I say when we do it. I'll just trim off the front bits around the edge. You don't have to do this, you can trim it with nail scissors when it comes out, but I'm just going to neaten it up a little bit. Right. Again, pull it down so that it tapers out at this end, so there's not a big glob at the back, it's just tapered out. And what you can do as well is change the angle of it if you feel that you want more at the front or more at the back or whatever. You can tip it up or whatever as it's curing. This is the deep bit and this is the shallow bit. I want it to go to virtually nothing on the shallow end. Like a swimming pool with a shallow end. Right, I'm going to leave that to cure, and I'll come back in a little while. Just take some out of the shallow end of that. You don't need very much at all, to be quite honest. And you can whiz it around. So this is the shallow end and that's the deep end. Right, okay, so I will come back when this has cured and show you what we have, and I'll show you how I put it into the mouth. Okay. Right, okay, the tongues have cured, I think. I actually found all my other tongue moulds that I've had over the last few years, months, whatever. And so as you can see, they're just literally, these aren't cured. I might fire them at some, cure them at some point, but you don't need to. Right, I actually dropped a couple of these on the floor, so I need to de-fluff them. Whoops. So these are the tongues I poured earlier. So I'm just going to roll these out. Oh, hang on, there's the phone. So that's one out. Right, okay, here we go again. Taking the tongue out. So basically what we have is, we can trim the outside, but we've got a sort of a deeper, and then it goes thinner. So we can have that sort of on the bottom part of the mouth there. Pull this one out. Again, what we will have is that at the bottom of the mouth. So these obviously live to see another day, the moulds. So what I'm going to do is trim one of them round and use it for this baby here. Just going to trim off the excess. And see how it fits in the bottom of the mouth here. I don't know if you can actually see really. So when we place it, we'll place it sort of towards the front of the mouth, just stuck to the bottom part, so that when the mouth opens there'll be the little tongue here at the bottom, and then we can sort of like we can paint around it in the pink, and you'll see the little tongue there. Okay, so we're going to stick this in. I'll use Silpoxy. I'm just going to pop some, a little bit of Silpoxy on the tongue. A bit of a spread it around a little bit. Using a very unsuitable tool. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be placing it on the inside of the mouth, and then I'm going to hold it in place while it cures with routing needles, old routing needles. You've probably seen me use these before. Basically, when they go dull and I can't use them anymore, I put them on one side, and I have a whole tub of them here, old needles, for doing things like, you know, the mould, you know, fastening the mould together, all sorts of things, fastening things, holding things together while they cure. So basically I'm going to pop the tongue in the mouth at the bottom here. And I'm going to hold it with a routing needle or two. There we are. Okay, so basically that's what you will see when you open the mouth. I'll be adding paint across the front of the tongue, but basically you'll actually, I might move the tongue a little bit forward. So when you open the mouth, we need, no, I'll move it back again. We need enough space for the mouth, for the lips to close. Obviously we don't want the tongue sort of coming through the lips when the mouth's shut. So we need to make sure that the lips close okay. So there's this little bit of lip at the front. In fact, I think I'm going to move it again. So you can move it around according to where you want it to sit in the mouth. There we are. That's a bit better. There we are. I think it's gone Gone monkey now. I'll just, yeah, it's gone slightly sideways. I should have just left it where it was in the first time, shouldn't I? There we are. That will do. So there's still plenty of room above it for the dummy to fit in, and there's still plenty of room in front of it for the lips to close. And I'll show it you when it's cured, how it looks, and when I've painted around it. Okay. Right. Okay. So it has cured now. I'm just going to take the pins out. Right, there we are. So there we have it. When you open her mouth, she has a little tongue at the bottom of her mouth. It doesn't take up a lot of space. I'll be filling in the lighter bits, obviously painting around, but basically she has a little tongue at the bottom of her mouth, so when you open her mouth you can see the little tongue. When you close it you can't see it, so she has a little tongue. And it's a really easy way of doing it. So I'll be painting around the inside of her mouth now, and obviously touching up her lips and doing the final bits. But yeah, I think it's a really good way of having a kind of compromise, really. Okay.